Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Claire Renee, and if you are new here, look around please. There is Yin Yoga content, stretch content for all different types of focuses, or maybe you're just looking for something easeful to get into. There's also a little bit of lifestyle content. I'll be adding more to that very soon. We are hopping back into our Meridian series. So the Meridian series was something I started. If you go back to some of my Yin Yoga videos, I think I even have a playlist for this. There is a Meridian series where we focus on the meridians, basically energy pathways. Think of it like the equivalent kind of to chakras, right? In like Ayurveda, in Chinese medicine, it is thought of as meridians, which is our energy pathways that affect certain organs or areas of the body. Our main focus is going to be on the pericardium meridian pathway. So we are going to be focused on getting a good sensation and stretch in the inner arms, the hands, the chest area. That is where you'll kind of notice that you're going to start to see a lot of the focus. There will be some focus in other areas that do have some connection to the main areas we want to focus on. If you would like, you are welcome to grab a couple of blocks if you have them on hand and you feel like you just might want to have them nearby on your mat. Also, as I always say, if you have sensitive knees, kind of like me, I have very bony knees, sometimes grabbing a towel or just like a slight little blanket or cushion or something that's small to place under your knee, should you need them in any of the poses that we are in today. It always just helps just so that you have that little bit of support so that you can hold each pose. So grab what you need, maybe grab some water to have by your mat, and I'll see you shortly. Welcome to the mat, friends. Let's start by just finding a nice comfortable seat on our mats together. Making sure you are really getting in touch with those sit bones. If you need to lift the flesh away from the buttocks so you can really get a solid foundation in your seat, you're welcome to do so. Sitting up nice and tall, feeling that spine nice and long all the way up to the crown of the head. There's energy. Shoulders away from the ears. Softness in the hands as they rest on your knees. If you tend to scrunch your nose or scrunch up your forehead, start to notice that. Just really allow yourself to either close your eyes or soften your gaze here. Just focus on your simple inhale and exhale in through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. Our focus today is on the pericardium, which is the area around our hearts. So if you want to place your hands on your heart as you get in tune and in touch with your breath and how you're feeling, you are welcome to do so. Beautiful, friends. You can take the hands away from the heart if they were there, and let's start to shift into all fours here. Shoulders above the wrist, and you're just finding a basic cat and cow here. Inhaling, looking at the sky. Exhaling, rounding that spine, pushing away from the mat. And give yourself some slow rounds of this. Really take your time here, finding the full shape of your cat and the full shape of your cow. Go ahead and find a nice neutral spine, shoulders above the wrists, hips above the knees. And we're going to find a wrist extensor stretch here. So how that's going to work is you're going to basically flip your hand so that your fingers are facing your body, and you're just going to sit back, keeping that left hand grounded into the mat, and that right wrist will kind of pop up off of the mat, but we really want to go for a nice stretch sensation in that wrist. Now, if the fingers facing you is just not feasible with your mobility, that's fine. You are welcome to just have the fingers face your left hand. So think of, instead of flipping your whole hand halfway, we're going to just have the fingers facing towards your other hand. And then you can kind of find the stretch in a similar way. Go as far back as you need to towards your heels. You do not have to be super far back. Really listen to your body. You want your sensation to feel about like 5 or 6 here. Let's go ahead and shake that out. Take your time. That can be a really intense stretch because, funny enough, even though it's just our wrist, it's something we kind of forget about. And once you're feeling ready, go ahead to the left. Doing the same thing, placing the fingers towards your body. Top of your hand is on the mat. And then shift back as far back as you need to. That wrist will pop up a little bit off the mat, so don't worry about that. And keep your right hand grounded into the mat for support. Wonderful start. Go ahead and shake that left hand out, maybe your other hand. Just take a moment here before we move into our next pose. I'm going to grab a small towel for underneath my knee. You're welcome to do that as well. Finding all fours again to set ourselves up for finding a nice wing dragon. So first take your foot in between the hands, and then take your hand towards the inside of the foot and walk your foot to the outside of your mat. And then you're going to roll over onto that foot so that you're on the edge of your right foot. So a piece of your foot will be not on the mat as you lean on that foot. You're feeling here a nice deep stretch in the groin, into the hip flexor. If you can keep your hands nice and flat on the mat, that's great. If you need blocks here for a little support, that is more than okay as well. Find where you need to be in order to hold the pose. And really check in with how you're feeling. When our pericardium pathway is stagnant or blocked in any way, or just unbalanced, some things that can manifest or ways that can look is difficulty expressing your emotions. It can even cause the negative sexual feelings, and in some, major cases or rare cases, even heart problems. So working on this pathway and tapping in with this pathway every now and again just to create balance is always a good idea. We already did something that is great for helping the balance of this pathway, and that was focusing on our wrist extension. And as you're here, just allow your body to really sink into each pose, because we have some decent time in each pose here. Great job on this side. Setting up on the other side, we're going to do the same wing dragon on the left foot. So first set it up by bringing the foot in between the hands, and then bring both hands to the same side of the foot. Walk your foot out to the edge of your mat, and then roll over onto that left foot so that you're on the edge, outer edge of your left foot. Letting that right hip flexor drop towards your mat. Finding your cool, finding your calm here. Easier said than done, but once you find it, really do your best to not fidget and really get all you can from the pose. Great job on the left side. Let's go ahead and come out of wing dragon on the left. If you need to place your towel or blanket underneath both knees here, you're welcome to do that. We're going to walk our hands out in front of us, keeping the hips above the knees. And then when you're ready, rest your head on the mat. We're in melting heart pose. This is great for our chest area, great heart opener. And we're going to add prayer hands today. And I'm not going to make this an optional. I really want us to try and get a deeper sensation in our shoulders today, really also supporting what we're already feeling in the chest. Thumbs should be going towards the back of the room. If you do need to grab your blocks and place them under each elbow, you're welcome to do that to get some support if this is a little intense flat on the mat. Always, always, always figure out a modification for yourself, and I'm always happy to share one. Our pericardium, of course, is around the heart area, so a lot of the energy of this pathway is going to also be related to protecting the heart. That is the area around our hearts. So I guess even emotionally or in our day-to-day, when our energy is in a nice balanced state, we're able to have some discernment. Our judgment of things and decisions and choices maybe are a little bit clearer. We're able to remove any kind of excess energy that isn't really serving us, right? If our pericardium pathway is in a good balance, we kind of feel good in those kinds of areas of our lives. Being able to create sense of balance in your understanding and judgment, and what you give your energy to and what you choose to reserve and hold to yourself. It's all about balance. Gently release your prayer hands and start to walk yourself back up out of the melted heart pose. We're going to open the knees nice and wide as your mat. And find child's pose to our right side, so not out in front of us. Think of trying to find some extra length in that left side by reaching as far as you can. It might even feel like your left hand passes your right. That's a good gauge of what kind of reach we're going for here. All you're going to do is just walk your hands over to the other side, finding a nice deep reach, resting your head on the mat for your child's pose on the other side. Gently walk your hands to the center and then walk your hands up out of child's pose. Great job, friends. We are done on our knees for right now, so you can move your towel away from the mat for now. And let's meet on our backs here, getting into our side body a little bit. For some, this might be felt in the shoulder area as well. Grabbing the opposite elbows above the head. And we're going to find our banana pose. Shift and scoot that upper body to the right. And then your feet are going to follow suit. Let them take a little walk to the right so that you are making a banana shape. And you're welcome to place that left foot on top of the right if you want to lock in your position and just get a little bit of leverage to hold the pose, but you do not have to. If you don't want, you can keep the feet apart if you'd like. Really just breathe into where you are feeling the sensation here. For some, it might be strictly in that side body in our torso. Some might feel it by the rib. Others might even feel it on the hip flexor side of your hip. So it can vary depending on what each person has going on and how we feel it. Start to scoot your upper body back to the center and let the feet follow. Give yourself a moment, and then when you're ready, keeping the arms above the head, grabbing the opposite elbows, scooch on to the left side with both the upper body and the feet. Find where you need to be. Make sure that your buttocks are not lifting off the mat, and hold our banana pose on this side. Let's scooch our bodies back to the center, starting at the upper body, then letting the feet follow. And once you've found the center, let's bring the soles of the feet together for a nice reclined butterfly here. You're welcome to place the hands at the low belly here. You can stretch the arms out if you want. You can find cactus arms or goalpost arms. And if you're really feeling in tune, you're welcome to place one hand on the low belly and the other on the heart. I'm going to choose that by taking my right hand to the heart, left hand on the low belly. Release your hands from wherever you are holding them, taking them to the sides of the knees and guiding your knees towards the center. And then we're going to just let the legs fall and splay out how they would like to normally, finding Savasana here. So really take up space on your mat. Find the position that works for you. You can have your arms outstretched. You can have your arms to the side of you. And I'm just going to allow you this space and time to feel how you feel. If any thoughts come up, acknowledge them and come back to your breath. Slowly open the eyes if you had them closed. Find some sensation and movement in the fingers and the toes, the ankles and the wrists. If you want to take a nice stretch overhead, that always feels nice. Gently roll over to your side. And then start to make your way up to a nice comfortable seat. And we're gonna take some deep breaths together to end today. Big inhale, scooping all of this beautiful energy, bringing it to heart center. Exhale. One more big one, big inhale. Sealing at the top, exhale, heart center. And the last one, I hope you feel a little more balanced emotionally. Exhale, heart center. And I hope that you feel a balanced sense of energy and self. Be well, take care of yourselves. and I'll see you on the next video.